In a quiet British village nestled between rolling hills, there's an old cottage on the outskirts, cloaked in ivy and shadow. Known by the locals as the Witch's Cottage, it has been the subject of fearful whispers and wild legends for as long as anyone can remember. Years ago, an elderly woman named Agnes lived in that cottage. She was known as a healer, using her knowledge of herbs and natural remedies to help those in need. But when a terrible illness spread through the village, fear took hold. Whispers began that Agnes had cursed the town, and soon her helpful practices were twisted into accusations of witchcraft. The villagers grew suspicious and frightened, convinced that Agnes's powers were to blame for their misfortune. One fateful night, a mob gathered outside her door. Desperate to defend herself, Agnes tried to explain that she'd only ever tried to help. But superstition was a powerful force, and the villagers drove her out, leaving her beloved cottage abandoned. After Agnes left, strange happenings began around the cottage. People spoke of mysterious lights in the windows, eerie whispers carried by the wind, and the scent of herbs wafting into the village at night. No one dared go near the cottage, believing that Agnes's spirit lingered, perhaps to seek revenge or find peace. Years passed, and the legend of the cottage faded, until a young woman named Emma moved into the village. Unlike the others, Emma was fascinated by the stories. She decided to investigate and ventured to the edge of the village, determined to uncover the truth about Agnes and her mysterious home. As Emma stepped into the cottage, she braced for the chill of a haunted place. But instead, the cottage felt strangely warm, as if someone had just been there. Dust floated gently in the beams of her flashlight, and dried herbs still hung from the ceiling. It felt as though Agnes had never really left. Exploring further, Emma discovered an old, weathered diary on a small table. Carefully, she opened it and realized it was Agnes's diary, filled with handwritten notes, recipes, and heartfelt accounts of helping the villagers. Emma saw that Agnes was a healer, not a witch, and her only crime was knowledge that others didn't understand. Emma took the diary back to the village, determined to share what she had learned. As word spread, the villagers were moved and ashamed of how Agnes had been treated. Together, they decided to honor her memory by creating a garden with the same herbs she had once used. It became a small tribute to her life and a chance to rewrite history with kindness. From that day on, the cottage lost its sinister reputation. Villagers, young and old, would visit it with a new sense of peace. Some say that on a quiet evening, if you walk past the cottage, you can still smell the herbs that Agnes used, drifting gently through the village, a reminder of her kindness and the truth finally revealed.